Hey yogis, it's Sina here, the Yoga Apothecary. Welcome to another EPIDOSE of her 20 or so flow when you're tight on time but you're looking for breath and movement. So grab some water and your towel and I'll meet you on the mat. All right, friends, here we go. We're going to get started on our back. So lie it down. Bring the feet to the mat. Ankles are stacked above the knees. I'm just going to do a little bit of stretching before we get going with this 20 or so flow. So widen the knees to the edges of the mat. As you can see, arms are by the sides, but you could actually tee them out, or maybe you want to cactus your arms. Take your breath at center. And as you exhale, just let the knees drop over towards the right side of your mat, really off the mat. Come back to center. And then they'll come over to your left side. They don't have to make contact. It's very early, obviously, in this practice. So they might just hover to the sides. Inhale, center. Over to the right. Inhale through center and exhale left. Come back to center, realign the ankles underneath the knees so you're stacking here. We're going to open up class with some core movements, some core work. First thing we're going to do is make a ball. And if the core work is not for you today, no problem. Just stay in a ball with your knees at 90-90 and maybe shifting, rocking from side to side. If you're going to join me for a little bit of ab work, we're going to go through two different types of movements starting here. So bring your arms long by your sides. Knees are bent at about 90-90, toes can point. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to take the arch from the back and peel the shoulder blades and chest up, reaching the arms long by the sides. Palms can face one another or point palms down. And as you exhale, tap this right foot down. Inhale, center. Exhale, tap left. Inhale, center, right. Exhale to the left. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. I've already lost count. Right. Exhale left. We're aiming for 8. I think this is 6. Exhale left. Call this 7. Maybe you're getting a little more. And 8 on the right and 8 on the left. Let the feet plant lower down. Pause here. Widen the feet for a moment. Let the knees knock to center and breathe. Always important, even in these shorter flows, I don't really spend time integration warming you up and focusing on the breath, but I always want you to know that the breath comes first. Through the breath, lengthening the breath, and exhaling. Always focusing on the breath. Let's come back to where we were. We're going to take this movement further. So we're still going to be peeling our heart space up, reaching through the arms long. But the movement through the legs is going to be to reach the legs up, toes pointed, lowering the legs while straight, hovering above the mat, coming up into a boat pose with the knees bent. Then letting the feet land and lowering back down. We're going to do 5 of these. So you could take the movement we did before if this is not for you. Maybe you join me, or maybe you just stay in bridge or that ball type of pose, rocking from side to side. Here we go. Inhale here. Exhale, lift and lengthen. Toes point, they come up. Leg lowers down. Inhale to a bent boat. Drop the feet. Reach the arms lower. That was 1. We got 4 more in you if you're joining me. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Float the legs up. Point, point, point. Lower them down. Inhale to the boat. Drop the feet lower. Here comes 3. Breathe it in. Reach the legs up. Hover them. Bring yourself to boat. Lower the feet. Lower down. Number 4, breath at the bottom. Peel it up. Float the feet. Reach and lower. Coming to the boat and lower down. We got 1 more to go. When we come up, we're not going to lower down. So we're going to end sitting up just in this type of position. Here we go. Lower down. Reach, breathe it in. Peel it up. Feet point. Lower down. Come back to boat. Lower the feet. Give yourself some space to slide slightly back onto the mat. And let this right knee kind of flop open. Plant this right palm behind you. Maybe you tent the fingers. And give a wave and reach through the hips. Like a mini rock star. Because that's what you are. And then come back down. Maybe you wave this hand in front. 1 more. Wave it up. Breath out. And come back to center. Snake the foot back in. Bring the knee to meet the left. Then let the left flop open. Now the left hand tents behind you and take the arm in front. Lift the hips on the exhale. It always feels so good. Inhale, lower. Reach. Exhale, reach it up. Inhale, lower. Come back to center. Bring the knees to touch. Cross it to your ankles. And let's make our way over to tabletop. So always stacking the wrists under the shoulders, knees come under the hips, neutral spine, flat back, crown is long. We'll take some cat-cows. So grip through the mat, waking up the toes to the mat. Inhale, cow. Drop that belly, open the heart space. Maybe you gaze slightly up and soft bend the elbows. Exhale, we round through the spine to cat, pressing the mat away. Hip creases, you guys. Elbow creases come forward. Arching through the spine, pressing through the tops of the feet. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Take 2 more cat and cows with your breath and pace. You're welcome to introduce some swaying of your hips. Maybe you want to press back through a child's pose into a cat and cow. Then from here, you might want to bring your hands slightly forward, tuck the toes, lift the hips. We'll come to the first downward dog of the practice and begin to pedal your dog, lifting one foot and then the other. Spreading the fingers wide, creating an L with the thumb and first fingers. Pressing the mat away with the palms. Ears line up with the biceps. And as you come to a still down dog, imagining you're dragging the mat behind you with your feet and widening the feet to the edges of the mat even though they don't move. Sorry. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Pause here in bear pose. Offer your heart space closer to your thighs. Press the mat away with the palms. Rise up on the balls of the toes. Inhale, ripple forward to a plank. Slightly dome shape the back. Press the mat away. Draw the heels to the back of the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Walk the hands to the back of the mat as we come to a ragdoll forward fold there. And taking the opportunity to sway with a soft bend in the knees, helping with the hamstrings, releasing, relaxing, releasing any tension. Maybe you shake your head yes or no. Then from here, bring the feet underneath those hips. We're going to take a twist. So keep a bend in the left knee. Right leg comes long. Tent the left hand to the right corner of the mat. Right hand reaches into this forward fold twist. If you want to take a half bind, bend this right forearm so that it comes across the low back and maybe heading towards this left hip crease. Release it to center, breath in. Switch so that the right knee softly bends. Left leg long, tent the right hand to the left corner. Left hand reaches up. And maybe, as you're ready, you move into a half bind. If you took that on the other side, or stay where you are. Then release with the breath out. Look to the top of the mat. Bend the knees so the heart space comes to the thighs. And simply walk the hands back to downward dog. From here, inhale, lift the right leg up and back. And as you exhale, step the right foot in between the palms. Lower this left knee and toes. And walk the right hand inside this right foot. I want you to resist the leg to arm and arm to leg so that you're firing up in this pose with action, activity right here. Breathe. And as you exhale, we're going to take a half split, but with the foot wide. If that is not for you, you can bring the right foot inside the right hand and take half split in the more traditional way. Otherwise, and you might want to snake your left knee slightly back. Start to lengthen, tenting the fingertips into a half split, trying to dig and drag the right heel to the back of the mat and tugging through that right hip, lengthening through the spine. Hold here for a cycle or two of breath. Then inhale, shift forward, plant the left palm, take a twist. Right hand reaches in this wider position. Dig through the big toe mound of the right foot, tuck the left knee forward. Exhale, release the right palm, lift the left knee and toes, step back, downward facing dog. Holding here. Inhale, lift the left leg up and back. And as you exhale, step the left foot in between the palms, then snake the left hand in, lower the right knee and toes, and take a moment to make this resist. Again, making this active stretch. Then we'll move to the half split, variation wide. You're welcome to make it narrow if you so choose and did on the other side. Exhale. Half split, tent the fingertips. Dig and drag the left heel, left hip. Arching through the, or not arching through the back, lengthening through the spine. Fingertips are tented. Gaze is forward. Then inhale, shift it back forward. Plant the right palm. We take this twist. Dig through the big toe mound of the left foot. Exhale, plant the left palm. Lift the right knee and toes, step back, downward facing dog. Take a falling out breath, inhale, and exhale it out. Grip the mat, inhale, lift the right leg up and back. And as you exhale, step this right foot lightly outside the right palm. We'll hold here for a runner's lunge. Left knee is up. If you need it down, place it down. Same thing here, make this active. And then from here, we're going to take pyramid with a wide stance. So maybe you snake this back foot slightly in, then tent the fingertips so that you can straighten the front leg long with a soft bend as you need to, still trying to draw the right hip back. Pause here, breathe. We're going to take this movement again. So maybe the hands start to flatten as the knee bends, runner's lunge. And then tent the fingertips as you exhale, pyramid pose. Breathe. Then from here, bend the knee. Walk the right hand slightly out. And we're going to meet turning our weight to a ninja lunge at the back of the mat. So dig this right heel into the mat. Your hands can rest on the earth. They don't have to necessarily float. Same would be true for the left foot. Maybe your ankle makes contact, maybe it doesn't. And the gaze can be at the top of the mat. Breathe. Then from here, as you gaze to the top of the mat, you'll stay low, but make your way back to a lunge. We're going to do another core movement here that's very different. Plant this left palm almost off the mat. So it's on the very edge of this left side of the mat. And float your right palm off the mat. The movement will be to tuck this left knee to the chest and your heel to your butt. We're going to do it 2 times. So start to float this right arm forward. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, tuck the knee to chest, foot to butt. Step it back, lengthen. Exhale, tuck it in, foot to butt. Step it out, lengthen. Plant the right palm inside the right foot and open up to a wide-legged forward fold to the left side of your mat. And just pause here. That was a bit of a core movement. So breathe. Choices with your hands can be in front, but off, obviously, to the side of the mat. Maybe you want them resting on the feet. You can also bring them through the center to the back of the mat. You got a full cycle of breath here. Can play with a half lift here too, if that feels good. And then bring the hands back forward from wherever they were. Start to bring the heels in. Toes can widen. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to use that exhale to press the mat away to come into goddess. So maybe you tent the fingertips. Inhale. And as you exhale, push your way up and into goddess pose. Knees are bent. Heels in, toes out. Knees are wide. With your arms, you could either place them on the thighs or at heart center, or you could cactus, or you could genie the arms. Whichever you choose, find some movement from side to side. And then you'll inhale, star pose. Feet come parallel. Spread the fingers wide. Squeeze through the glutes and thighs. Try and take the arch from the back. And then as you exhale, we'll come to a warrior 2 at the top of the mat. Right knee over the right ankle. Root through the pinky edge of the left foot. Hug the inner thighs. Squeeze the glutes. Pulling that right hip up. Soften through the shoulders. Gaze over the right fingertips. Then flip the right palm up. Inhale, lengthen, reach. Exhale, reverse. Right arm comes up and over. Keep the feet rooted. Spreading ribs on the right side body. And drawing the thumb behind you to deepen the stretch. Start to tee the arms. Turn the back heel even more inward. Torso starts to make its way to the right thigh. Front leg comes long with a soft bend as you need to. Exhale, triangle pose. Right hand is coming to the inside shin. Shoulders stack. Imagine a wall behind you. Gaze can be to the mat. Pause here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Then from here, bend into the front knee. Windmill the arms down to the mat. Lower your left knee to the mat. Kickstand the left leg slightly off the mat. Left hand plants. Drag this right heel to the back of the mat. Reach the right arm up, trying to stack your alignment from shoulder to wrist. Take a breath here. As you exhale, float the right foot up. Grab for the right foot with the hand. Make it resist. So the hand's resisting this pressure here. One breath in. Float it, release. Inhale. Exhale your way back towards the top of the mat. Step back to plank pose. And then lower knees, thighs, unhook the toes. Coming down to the mat. Pause here. We'll take Cobra Pose. As you're ready, take an inhale. Exhale, peel the heart space up. Roll the shoulder blades back. Draw the elbows to touch and press through the tops of the feet. Exhale, release. Take an inhale to plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a falling out breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift the left leg up and back. And as you exhale, softly step that left hand to the outside of the left palm. If you need to lower your knee, remember you can. We'll hold here in a runner's lunge. Make it resist the arm. Tent the fingertips. Exhale the pyramid. Inhale, runner's lunge. Exhale to pyramid, tent the fingers. Then from here, inhale, bend. We'll take a twist. Left hand reaches. Tent the left hand so it's outside the left foot. Then press it up and over. We come to the back of the mat for a ninja lunge. Again, the heel does not need to touch. Gaze forward so the palms may stay rooted. And then look to the top of the mat. Start to get low, make your way there. And then walk the right hand almost entirely off the mat. Let this left arm float, breath in. Exhale, crunch it, bring that heel to the butt. Lengthen it back. Exhale, crunch it, heel to butt. Lengthen it back. Plant the left palm inside the left foot. Open up to a wide leg forward fold. Pause here to take the same or different variation with your arms that you took on the other side. So maybe a slight half lift or a twist. Maybe a soft bend in the knees. Hands can be forward or through to the back of the mat, side of the mat, I should say. A cycle or two of breath here. Then start to drag the heels in, toes start to widen, fingers are tented, slight bend the knees, use the breath in, and then as you exhale, we come up to the yogi squat. Goddess pose, not yogi squat. We are going to be there soon enough. Find some movement, choose what you'd like to do with the arms. Maybe you took what you did on the other side. Pausing here. One more full breath in. Then bring it up to a star pose. Reaching long through the fingertips. Take the arch of the back. Squeeze those glutes, hug the inner thighs. We exhale, warrior two to the top. Flip the palm, lengthen, inhale, reach. Exhale, reverse. keeping those feet rooted. Left knee over left ankle. Hug the inner thighs. Reach through this thumb on the left side, feeling the lengthening of the left side body. To then tee the arms, maybe the heel turns slightly in the back leg. Torso starts to shift over to the left thigh. As you lengthen the front leg, try not to lock the knee. Exhale, triangle pose. Holding here for a breath or two. Stacking shoulders, still rooting and pressing down through the feet. Imagine a wall behind you. Then start to gaze to the top of the mat, bend in the knee, windmill down to the mat, lower the right knee, take that foot slightly off the mat, drag the left heel back, right palm stays rooted and planted, suction cup the palm, inhale here, exhale, float it up, breath in, foot is flexed, reach perhaps for the foot to make it resist into the palm, palm to the foot. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach and float. Breath in. Let the foot and hand land. Shift the weight forward. Step back to plank. And lower all the way down to the mat. We're going to take one round of Locust Pose to help strengthen the spine and back. Bring the arms long by your sides. Palms are facing down. Remember to think length over lift. If you decide to spread fingers and toes, imagine your pinky fingers could touch. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, lengthen up. Keep the gaze just over the nose. Try not to crane the neck. Floating those fingers and toes, length over lift. One more full breath in. And as you exhale, lower. Slide the palms under the shoulders. You'll press your way up to plank if you can, or tabletop if you need to. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a falling out breath here. Exhale, let it go. So we're almost done with this flow. We're going to do a little bit more hip opening, moving from down dog through a three-legged dog to malasana on each side of the body. So inhale, lift the right leg up and back. And as you exhale, lightly step the right foot outside the right palm. Bend the left knee, shift back, step the left foot up and come down to a yogi squat. If you need to readjust your positioning, bring the palms to touch, thumb to the breastbone, resist the arms to the legs and vice versa. Lengthen through the spine. One more breath here. Then tent the fingertips, step the right leg back, step the left leg back, downward facing dog. As we come to the other side, inhale, lift the left leg up and back, gaze forward. As you exhale, how lightly can you step that left foot outside the left palm? Then bend softly through the knees, sink it back, step it up, yogi squat. Palms together, thumb to the breastbone. Breathe. Then from here, we're just going to come down to our bottoms and then make our way onto our back as we work to close out the practice. Take a moment in the bridge pose. We'll take figure 4 on our back. Palms can be by your side. Lift the right leg up, foot is flexed. And as you exhale, cross it over into pigeon on the back. Maybe you float this left leg up, foot is flexed as well. Interlace the hands behind the thigh. And find a little bit of movement. Keeping shoulders, hips rooted. Coming back to your Ujjayi breath. Then from here, you might T or cactus your arms. Let the left foot land. Pause. And if you're able to, we'll take a supine twist from our figure 4 by simply shifting so that the right foot can make contact with the earth. And maybe you gaze over your right. Come back to center, unwind for the other side, pausing with both feet down under the knee. Then lift the left leg up, stamp the ceiling. Exhale, cross it over. Inhale, float it up. Interlace the hands behind the right thigh. Left elbow making some space into that thigh. Staying static, or maybe you had some soft sway. Then as you're ready, release through the hands to cactus or T. To let that right foot make contact with the earth, take a breath. And then maybe you twist it over to the right side and gaze over to your left. Then come back to center. Release this bind to grab for your knees. And then I want you to hold them slightly apart. Again, the hands are on tops of the knees. We're going to move through some circular movement. So you'll bring the knees towards your chest, then guide them open, slide them to the back of the mat, and then let the knees close. Bring them slightly open towards the chest. Open them wider, guiding them back and to the close. One more time, slightly open and towards the chest. Open them wider, slide them to the back of the mat, and then to close. And then let the feet make contact with the earth. We'll end in Supta Baddha Konasana for this practice. If that's not for you, simply extend your legs in Shavasana. We'll be there in another breath or two. But if you're joining me, soles of the feet touch, knees come wide, choices with the hands or arms, one hand to heart, one to belly. They could be cactus by your side, just for a little bit more shoulder opening, or maybe you want them above the head. Seeing what that feels like. I'm going to cactus my arms. We'll be here for a cycle or two of breath. This is an invitation for you to certainly close your eyes, should you wish to. On the exhale, let the hands come towards the knees, thighs to close your legs like a book. And then take an opportunity to lengthen one leg and then the other. Coming into our full Shavasana corpse pose. Always the goal. Pose. Taking these few moments for you to be still. To take up space on your mat. To have some silence in your day. Knowing you could stay here as long as you like, I will give you approximately a minute or so just to be sensitive to your time that you've dedicated to be on your mat to close out the practice. Shavasana. Slowly coming back to the mat. Beginning to wiggle some fingers and toes. Maybe touching each finger to your thumb. Or a soft rotation through the wrists. Followed by the arms coming long and the toes might be touching. To take a deep inhale through the nose. And an exhale, you can draw the knees towards the chest. Hands can reach there for a soft sway. To make your way over to your favorite side to pause. And to thank yourself for coming to the mat. To thank your body for what it just did for you for this practice. And then slowly shifting yourself to come up. To join me at the top of your mat. We'll bring our hands to heart center, thumb to the breastbone to take a falling out breath in Sukhasana together. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, let something go. Inhale the thumb to third eye center, our center of intuition as we exhale and bow. The light in me honors the light, the beauty of this yoga practice and the yogis who have joined, for I'm so forever grateful. Thank you for joining me for another 20 or so EPIDOSE flow. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel as well as our Wellbeing Elixir newsletter. Details for that are in the description box below. Thank you again. Namaste.